Good morning, everybody. Dr. Rick Wallace dropping in on you. Hope everybody's had a great week. Hope everybody is moving towards their goals. I hope that you are experiencing success at some level. Remember that success isn't simply hitting goals and milestones. Success is every step of the process in which you progress. When you see yourself progressing, when you are moving towards your goal, no matter how slow you perceive it to be, that success. You are growing intentionally towards something that's meaningful to you. Learn how to celebrate those moments. I'm going to move right into what I have to talk about today. I hope that you are inspired by it. I hope that you are encouraged and empowered by it. So here's a question. When life takes something from you, how do you respond? Let me clarify what I'm asking you. When you are living your life and you lose a loved one, when you're living your life and you have a financial setback, when you're living your life and your business closes, when you're living your life and you fail at something more than once, when you go through a divorce, when you lose a loved one, whatever it is, when life takes something from you, when you have something snatched, I can go back and I can tell you, I remember this clearly. It's been nearly um, 30 years, 1992. I lost my great grandfather, who was my adopted father, my father in every way imaginable. The person who poured into me, who modeled manhood and gave me so much strength through his wisdom. At 25 years old, I lost him. And life had taken something from me. And it wasn't just the loss, it was the 5 year process of him struggling and fighting for his life from the age of 78 to the age of 83. Most people say, well, he lived a long life, but he went from being vibrant and strong to a shadow of himself. But the inner strength was still there, and life took something from me. It took a lot out of me. Life took so much out of me. It wasn't just what it took from me, it's what it took out of me. Uh, the energy I had to do the things that I was supposed to be doing, the things that I desired to do, the continuance of my vision, the energy wasn't there. The passion wasn't there. It had been snatched out of me through going through this with my grandfather. There's been other times in life, but this is the one I'm going to share with you today. And this is something I had to gather myself, and I had to sit myself down. I had to spend some quiet time with myself, and I had to evaluate where I was. And I had to do some things. The first thing I had to do is had to ask myself, would my grandfather want me to fold? Would he want me to take everything that he had given me in way of wisdom and training and preparation for life and set it down because he had completed his journey? And the answer was no. I had to ask myself, could I be okay with giving just a part of myself to something and knowing there was a lot more that I could do? And the answer was no. I had to ask myself, could my family truly respect me if I only gave 50%? And the answer was no. So I had to find a way to take back and reclaim what was taken out of me. And I had to wake up. And so every day I would spend time with myself. I would reflect. I would pray. I would meditate. I would sit up and I would see my vision. I would spend time with my vision. I don't know if you understand what that means. I literally would spend time in the future living in the vision so that I could become re-inspired, remotivated, revigorated. But I had to realize something that went back to the day that I found out my grandfather had passed. And what I had to realize is that life is going to happen to you, especially when you're centered in a dream and you're focused on being an impact in this world. Life is going to happen to you. Life is going to come along and happen. Life does that. It's going to happen to you, especially when you have a dream, when you have a vision. Don't ever think. One of the things that I come in contact with a lot is people sit up and actually think because they're focused, because they're prepared, because they have a plan, because they've looked at everything and they've mapped it out, that all of a sudden that exempts them from the realities of life, that somehow the vicissitudes of life no longer have the capacity to roll into their paradise. No, what I can tell you is the more you tighten up, the more you crank up your vision, the more you crank up your expectations, the more you're going to find out life gets busy, life starts to move, things become turbulent. And you have to understand the things you want that are in excess of what is normal come at a price. And you're going to have to pay that price. The thing is, life's going to happen. The question is not whether life is going to happen. The question is, can you outlast the pain? See, I tell people all the time, pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. And what do you mean by that, Doc? What I mean is you're not going to circumvent life. You're not going to get through life without experiencing pain. You're going to go through some things. That's life. Here's the thing, though. You've got to make up in your mind that you can outlast the pain, and that not only can you outlast the pain, that you can come out of the situation better than when you went in, that you can literally use pain as a catalyst for growth. You can use pain as a catalyst for development and becoming better at who you are, what you are, and what you're capable of doing. You are going to have to make up in your mind, I will outlast it, because see, pain is inevitable, but you start to suffer when you decide to take camp, set up camp in your in your pain. When you start to identify with your pain at a level that you are literally embodied in your pain, you're now suffering. Why? Because there's no end to the pain. There's no outlasting the pain. There's no overcoming the pain. There's no emerging from the pain. And so now your pain has become suffering. That's a choice, because you have chosen to identify with your pain and the situations of your life. You have literally gave your situations, your circumstances, and your hurt more power and more force in your life than your own faith and your own movement. Next thing I had to learn during this time is nobody's going to come save me from this. Why is that? There are people that may care, but nobody's going to come say, why? Because it's my vision. It's my vision. It's my dream. It's my expectations. It's my life. It was given to me to live, and I'm going to have to execute. It doesn't mean that at times there won't be people there. What it means is they can't walk my walk for me. They can't carry me to the finish line. They can be there to say, hey, look, let me give you this. Hey, look, let me. But that comes when you assert yourself. The provision that is divinely established for you only appears when you assert yourself, when you execute a level of faith that says, I will not fold. I will not give in. I will not let go. I will not sit idly by and watch my life pass. I will take control. I will take action. I will move forward. I will achieve. All of a sudden, things start to happening. I'm telling you what I know. Life will take something out of you, but you have the power to reclaim it. If you get knocked down by life, that's life. If you get knocked down, that's life. But if you remained on the ground, that's on you. You got to make up in your mind, I'm not going to stay here. I'm going to get up. I'm going to get up as quickly as I possibly can. I'm going to dust myself off. I'm going to recalibrate, and I'm going to refocus, and I'm going to keep moving. Yeah, that was a tough one. Oh, man. Losing my great-grandfather, I think, was probably one of the toughest things I've ever had to experience in the way of loss. Losing my great-grandmother was definitely a hit, but there was something about losing that man that I still have moments of 30 years later. I can still wake out of a dream where he's like right there, so close that it's real. And I can still wake out of that dream now and be in tears. But I couldn't stay there in 1992. I had to pick up, dust myself off, and make up in my mind that I'm moving forward. I could not stay in 1992. I left something precious to me in 1992, but I had to keep moving. You've got to keep moving. Finally, I had to realize that life was not going to lay down for me. Life won't lay down for you. You are going to have to understand that. Life is not going to lay down for you. Life is not going to simply sit up and say, because you have hope, because you have a dream, because you have a vision, because your family needs you, because there are so many things in your life you want to do. I'm just going to get out. No, life is not going to do that. Circumstances and situations are coming. Life is not going to fold you, but I tell you what life will do. I'm going to tell you how it's designed, how it's set up, and that it cannot move and operate outside of these laws. Life has no option but to respond to you. A lot of the times you're getting what you've created in how you are approaching a situation, how you're viewing it, how you're reacting to it. But life will respond to you. Life will respond to the force that you apply to it. What do you mean by that? Faith, by way of thought, is a force. How you are thinking is establishing the course of your life. How you are thinking is the origin of the manifestation of your future reality. How you are thinking, your thoughts are literally the seeds of your destiny. How you are thinking is setting you up for what you're going to manifest and what you're going to produce. And you have to understand that your thoughts by way of faith, if I start thinking based off of what I have in way of faith, I believe beyond reason that I have a purpose in it. I believe beyond reason that I can make my presence felt. I believe beyond reason that if anything that I set my mind to, I can do. So I'm going to sit up and literally in my thoughts, see the reality that I desire at such a level that it starts to move life. It starts to move the universe. It starts to move situations outside the parameter of reason. People are looking at it and they're sitting up and going, how in the world is he coming out of this? How in the world is he overcoming this? How in the world did he come out of the hood when the hood said he should have been dead at 18? How in the world did he overcome losing the only man that had any type of meaning in his life at the age of 25? And he still kept going. He still created businesses. He still wrote books. He still did the thing. He's now helping people around the world. He's got clients in Ireland, clients in the UK, clients in South Africa, clients in Sydney and Perth and Australia, along with the clients he had, clients in Jamaica. How is he sitting up doing that when he should have been out of the game in his late teens, early 20s? It's because my faith was able to see beyond my circumstances. And I applied that faith by way of thought to life. Life had to respond. Life says he won't stay marred down in sadness long. So we can't get him with depression. Life said he won't sit up and contemplate on his failures. So we can't get him with guilt. Life said he just keeps recalibrating to this one destiny that he has in his mind. And we can't get it out of his mind no matter what we throw at him. We're going to have to give it to him. That's how God designed the universe to respond. But see, faith doesn't just show up in your thoughts. Faith by way of action has force. When you start to move towards the thing that you believe for yourself, life has to respond. It's going to throw some things out of there, but you got to keep going. Stop buying the lies that people are telling you about who you are. You know, I was a kid who didn't know his father. His mother was not a role player in his development, but he had grandparents. But it was in a very difficult place and situation and time in life, and he wasn't supposed to make it. But I didn't believe it, and luckily I had people whispering in my ear, telling me, this isn't where you end up. This isn't where you stop. That's not for you. I even made a couple of poor decisions that took me off the path for a minute. But see, I was able to refocus and recalibrate. So I learned that even when you make bad choices and you end up where you're not supposed to be, you're not stuck. I say, whoa, wait a minute. So that means I don't have to make every decision perfectly. I don't have to be right 100% of the time, and I can still end up where I believe I should be. Oh man, look out. Here I come. Here I come. Then outside of faith by action, then there's faith by resilience. What does that mean? I ain't quitting. I am not going to fold. No surrender, no retreat. You can go right now to any place that I have spoken to before, and you can line me up to speak. And I walk out on that stage, and I guarantee you, you'll start to hear people who have heard me before. And the first thing you're going to hear them say is no surrender, no retreat, because it's a part of what I literally emote. No surrender, no retreat. I'm not just not going to surrender. I'm not moving back off of my place. I'm not giving up my space. I'm not giving up my spot. I'm not getting back because it's uncomfortable over here. I'm not going to get back because there's other people trying to move into a space that I'm claiming. I'm not getting back because it got hard. No surrender, no retreat. I'm not folding. Life has to respond. Life has to not only respond, it has to respond in my favor. You better learn how to apply yourself. When life takes something out of you, and it will, you're going to lose somebody you love. You're going to lose something you love. You're going to get held back from something you want. You're going to put a whole bunch of something into something, and then it's going to crumble. But it's not over. That was a test. Are you going to quit? Are you going to fold? Are you going to give in? Are you going to lay down with that with that situation? See, I was pulled to just want to quit because I had envisioned my grandfather living at least another 10 years and seeing me move into some of the things that I was headed into. But he was gone. And it took something out of me. It took something out of me. I mean, I'm literally tearing up now thinking about it. It took something, but I couldn't stay there. And that's what a lot of you are doing. You got hurt and you decided to set up camp in your pain. You ain't he broke your heart and you set up camp and you ain't let it go yet. He's moved on. He's changed his life. He's a better person now. He's married and he's moved on, and you're still anchored down in that bitterness and anger because he broke your heart and you can't let go. You're 10 years in the past and the future is calling your name, but you can't hear it because you're in the past. Do you realize that type of bitterness is like taking poisoning, hoping somebody else dies, but you're taking the poison? You're not hurting anybody but yourself. You're not stalling out anybody's vision but yourself. You got to learn how to take the blow and then keep moving. Take the blow and keep moving. You got to understand. There's some things out there. Don't identify. Don't lay down and wallow in your moment. Get up, dust yourself off, and make up in your mind, I am not going to fold. I am going to reclaim what was taken. I'm going to grow in it. I'm going to empower myself with it. I'm going to reinvigorate it. And then I'm going to move toward it. And ain't nothing in this world going to stop me. That's on you. That's on you. Don't let life shut you down. Make up in your mind that no matter what, you're going the distance. On that note, I'm gonna get ready to get out of here. I have a few, while I'm thinking about it, I have a few spots for my new program, Savage in 6. It was something that was requested a few years back. I've been working on it. I launched it a couple of weeks ago, Savage in 6. It's the shortest program I offer. Most of my programs are 12 weeks and higher. This is 6 weeks of intense engagement. If you know what you want in life, if you have an idea of what you want, or if you feel like, man, I've been trying this and I don't know what to do, look, I've got a few slots. I want to work with you. This is only for the committed. This is only for the people who are sick and tired of being sick and tired and being where you know you could be, being in a place you know that you should be moving in a higher plane. If you're not on that next level and you know you belong there, reach out to me. The link is in the box. You can also email me at ceo@rickwallacephd.link, and we can talk and communicate from there. But the link is in the box. Look, I'm about to get out of here. As I always say, I live my life on full so that when I leave this place, I die on E. I challenge you to do the same thing. Live your life on full. My grandfather used to say it like this: son, fill your space. Fill your space. Don't move into this world and leave it the same way you found it. If you walk in the room, the people in that room should not be the same when you leave. You need to find a way to fill your space. You need to find a way to make your presence felt. So I decided I'm going to live my life on full so that I die on E. I'm challenging you to do the same thing. On that note, I'm out of here. You guys have an unbelievable day. I hope to be working with some of you soon.